good. Thanks for asking.
Such a nice guy.
Who would ever asked me that?
All right, Jalen. So I feel like you can build off of that. I mean, what, 4 in a row? What was it like when you're going through that 3.5 minute sequence? You're just popping them in.
Man, I was feeling it. Truthfully, every time I shot it, it felt like I was blacking out. It was like it was just like just forget about this shot, shoot the next one. I know I was feeling it, and I was going in there, and it felt like every time I shot it was gonna go in. So I felt very confident.
Arnett, I'm curious as to when you started feeling the 45 minutes you played. What part? On maybe the bus ride home? Or
yeah, I definitely felt on the bus ride home, but I started feeling like towards like the end of the second half, like my hamstring starting to cramp up.
Had you ever? I can't imagine you played that long, and maybe even AAU back-to-back games.
Yeah.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's the longest I probably ever played.
How do you have to change things just because the team, especially without DeVille, you know, you guys are only about 7 deep. I mean, do you have to change the way you play? I mean, both of you, you know, just do you have to be more careful on defense, you know, not to foul? I mean, how does it change things when the bench is so thin?
I just think it changed things offensively. You know, now we got Brian backing up D-Boss at the 1, so I think that just slows things more offensively, and we got to be more efficient offensively.
Arnett, you said after the Bama game that you saw a different Renardo Sidney that night. Does that continue these past few games?
Yeah, he's getting better game by game and practice by practice. He's got to keep coming and working.
How impressive was he? Those first 2 minutes in the second half, and obviously the last minute of the
He was
overtime?
real impressive. He came in, had 2 back-to-back buckets, and he helped us put together a few stops that we needed to cut the lead down to 2. And then he hit that big 3 for us at the end of the second half.
Do you think he's motivated by all the criticism he seems to get, no matter what he does?
Yeah, he definitely is. That's something that he always talked about a lot, to go out there and just prove him wrong by his play.
Was there a point when you talked about that? I think it was the Alabama game. You said it's a different Sydney. Rodney said today that the block he had with Festus, he would have let him dunk it. You know, the old Sydney would have. I mean, have we seen a turning point with him this year? Was there a specific time?
No specific time, but we're just glad to see change, to finally see change.
Is it fair to say that he's passing more out of the post, essentially, and getting the ball rotated? It's not just kind of, the ball's not stopping with him when he gets in the block?
Yeah, he is. He getting a good job at being patient in the post, observing the defense.
Jalen, kind of compare where your game is now compared to last year before the injury, just where your body feels.
Oh man, it feels like the game is easier now this year. The injury kind of set me back, but now I can see the floor more and see what I can do and what I can't do, and it's making me slow down more, and making the game slow down more for me.
Jalen, I know last year in the LSU games when you got hurt, have you thought about that at all going into this game Wednesday? Is there any motivation from that?
I mean, yeah, it's motivation. To win the game this time. We gotta beat them this time. I don't really think about it. I don't really let it get to me that much. I just go out there and play hard and just forget about the injury and just go out there and do my thing.
The way surgery is in rehab, I mean, you get an ACL tear, you can be back the next season. But was there ever a point, you know, in the heat of the moment, you're thinking, I'm done. This is it.
Yeah, rehab. Yeah, when I was back home, man, I was doing the exercises and stuff, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, I don't think I can do it. But then I just pushed myself. I put in my head, I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta get back on the court.
Do you feel like you're up to full speed yet, or how far have you come?
I think I'm almost there. I say I'm about 95%. I think it's gonna really hit me. I think by probably come SEC tournament time, I think I'm really gonna be 100% in.
Arnett, before.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You fighting it all there? I mean, the last few minutes of regulation of Vanderbilt, I think you were on the bench. Do you really want to be out there? And what was the reason behind that?
I couldn't really tell you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a decision Coach made at the time. So I sat on the bench, cheer my team on, and cheer them on to victory.
Arnett, free throw shooting as a team has improved in SEC play. You've struggled, at least by your standards. Is it just a mini slump you're trying to get out of?
It's just a mini slump that I had to adjust to. I think I'm thinking too much about it when I'm at the line. That's what I think.
Do you have,
wrong at.
you know, Rick has talked about how you were about a 50% free throw shooter a year ago. So obviously you've worked at it, but is there still a mental obstacle you have to get over sometimes?
Yeah, that's that mental obstacle I'm talking about. Just thinking about it. Just take deep breaths when I'm at the free throw line. Just knock them down.
Arnett, talk about before the game at Vanderbilt. Wendell had a couple games where he wasn't that productive off the bench. With Sidney getting in foul trouble, y'all needed him at Vanderbilt. And he played some pretty good defensive minutes. How important was that for his confidence and for y'all to see him give that to y'all? In that
Oh, that
game?
was real important, just for him to go out and try to help us win. That should build on his confidence because he had some good defensive plays on Ezeli and some big rebounds for us.
Bigger picture question.